everyone, welcome back to Heartland Mamas. I'm Murray Briel.
And I'm Heidi Henry, coming to you from 3 separate studios at the edge of the Great Red Divide. Catch all of our former episodes on heartlandmamas.com. All of our candidate interviews, all of our podcasts are available on every podcast platform and proudly carried on the Demcast USA network. Murray, would you like to introduce our candidate for today?
Our 2020 candidate series continues with an amazing man from the northern portion of the state of Illinois. His name is Seth Wiggins, and he is running for the 90th district in Illinois. Now, this district has been held by a Republican. It is a gerrymandered district, but there have been some attempts to bring the Democratic message to the forefront of the area, and you're beginning to see a shift. So Seth, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you both for having me. I appreciate it. Been looking forward to it.
Seth, tell us a little bit about yourself and your district and why you're running.
Sure, okay. So my name's Seth Wiggins. As stated, I'm the 90th House District candidate running on the Democratic Party. I'm 33 years old. I'm a father of 4. I've got my daughter, and then I also have 3 foster children in my home. I'm a licensed foster parent for the state of Illinois. By trade, I'm an attorney, dirty attorney. I've been getting a lot of flack from that online lately.
Wait, no. Here's the deal. You were an assistant state's attorney.
I was.
You're not one of those. Oh, you're kind of in a catch-22, aren't you? Because if you were a defense attorney, you'd be a slime ball.
Yeah.
And you're a state's attorney, then you're,
enforcing the law.
Hated. Yeah.
Sure.
I would say it would work well that you were a state's attorney.
Oh yeah, and my days being a state's attorney, I ended up being engaged to an assistant public defender, so opposite sides of the fence.
Oh boy.
We're both my idea, my take on criminal justice is that we need rehabilitation more than incarceration. So instead of just looking at outwardly and forward how we can punish, you put someone in a jail cell, they sit there. If you don't inform them more, if you don't educate them more, offer them services that help them heal any trauma that might have been the root of any acting out, against criminal code. Then what happens is without any of that, they come right back into society, not retrained, not rehabilitated, and then they're likely to commit the same patterns that, we as a society decided are not enough to be criminal, and then they're going to be back in jail. If instead you focus on treatment and mental health services and hooking people up with opportunity and connecting them to opportunities so they can be successful moving forward, that's a different approach, and I think it's more impactful, not just for the person who is convicted of a crime or pleads guilty to a crime, but the person who is expecting them to come home and have their stuff together and move forward in the society that they're a member of. So with that moderate approach, I was able to be agreeable enough to a defense attorney. And then when I went into private practice, I did a little bit of criminal defense, but largely, family law and civil law generally. So aside from law, as a civilian, I'm also in the military. So I'm a non-commissioned officer. I'm this month in my 12th year of service.
Wow.
I did the first 4 years active duty, so I was a United States Air Force airman, deployed to Afghanistan, did my first 4 years, came home, and did United States Air Force Reserve for 2 years, and then the last 6 years have been Air National Guard up in the state of Wisconsin. So that's a big part of who I am and the type of leadership that I bring, the way that I see how integrity plays in politics, or how it should, and what I'd seek to bring to Springfield and representing the district. And talking about my district, we've got, I'm a resident of Dixon, Illinois, so I'm in Lee County. We've got Ogle County, DeKalb County, and LaSalle County. You said it's gerrymandered. It's little swaths of each into like this quilt, this awkward little off-kilter square of District 90.
Right.
And so we've got no county in whole, but all in parts. Lee County, where I'm at, is a large portion of it. So it's largely Lee and Ogle mainly, with portions of DeKalb and LaSalle. So my area is agricultural. My area is rural. My area is largely red in historical data as far as voting patterns, about a 60-40 split. But what I see more and more each day is people want honesty. People want integrity. People want someone that has life experience that's similar to what they have. The everyday experience, you don't have to be creme de la creme. I'm an attorney now, but I'm like a 3-year attorney, like 3 years removed from paycheck to paycheck status, right? So when I am putting myself through college, I'm working in the service industry. I'm working with the grunts portion of the military, and I'm working with fellow students as I'm in undergrad law school, coaching kids of fellow parents in the community. I'm touching all these people that have normal everyday lives.
Right.
They want a normal everyday person representing them, and I think that's what I bring to the ticket. That is, when compared to Tom Demmer, the current incumbent, a largely different picture.
Yes, Tom Demmer has never lived as a average citizen of your district in income or status, so it's very difficult for people to relate to the average income wage earner in your district, which is $56,000 a year when you've never lived in that bracket.
Sure.
You can't relate, and so that's difficult. That same thing happened to me when I ran for office. I could relate, and our state senator couldn't, and still can't. So what is your main focus? What is the thing that lights you on fire when you talk about it, as far as an issue?
Sure. Investing in people. And now that's a few different ways. One, jobs. This pandemic has shown us how important it is to have livelihood, and livelihood that has livable wages, actual benefits, and is reliable. That's not going to scoot you out the door and give you a pink slip as soon as crap hits the fan.
Right.
And takes care of its people. And we need to invest in an atmosphere, a business environment that incentivizes that. So I've released 3 different jobs plans. It's on my social media site. Seth Wiggins for State Representative, District 90 is the site on Facebook. I've got a very wonky Twitter account, mainly because I don't know how to tweet. I still don't get it. My daughter could probably tweet better than me. I got very few tweets, but when I try to put something up there, I feel really accomplished. And aside from that, I've got a website, www.wigginsforstaterep.com, all in word form, all spelled out, wigginsforstaterep.com. So I've released 3 different jobs plans.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We'll link those all in our when this is released. All of those links will be there, so you can vote, volunteer, and donate. Go ahead, Seth.
Awesome. Appreciate that. So jobs are important. Jobs are not partisan. They shouldn't be. It's how we take care of ourselves and our family, how we keep a roof over our head, how we make sure that we can maintain wellness, whether that's mental health, physical ability. And if you can give people the power to provide for themselves, but actually in a way that's funded, in a way that's actually invested in, not just in theory, not just say, we're going to lead you to the path and hope you make it, but actually, like, what can we do to help you get there? What I think we can do is invest in public education. Probably the cornerstone, the biggest chunk of the pie in my campaign is investing in public education.
Yeah.
If we do that, we connect people with opportunity. If we invest in our educators, our faculty members, our administrators in a way that helps better the attrition rate, helps retain skill in our teaching labor force, helps make sure that we have the resource and funding that we need to effectuate impactful education for our kids. That investment in the beginning spurs successful paths onward for the rest of the lives for these kids. So if we can target our resources there, our energy, our advocacy, we're going to be impactful across the board, whether it's reducing crime, whether it's reducing, the cycle of domestic or sexual abuse.
Yes.
It plays into your jobs programs as well, because corporations want to relocate. Companies want to build in areas where there's a solid infrastructure,
Exactly.
where there is easy access to whatever transportation method that they need, as well as good internet. I know that's something you guys struggle with out there. But also they're drawn because of school districts and universities, and partnering with our universities, and you're right up there, you have Northern, a hop, skip, and a jump away, to let corporations know that what their needs are going to be met by your education system, that their employees are going to be happy to raise their children here in this district. It ties together, and people tend to get a little short-sighted on that.
Sure. Sorry, it cut out right toward the end there.
Well,
I heard the investment part and it tapped out a little bit.
Yeah, about building the infrastructure to attract people to come and be educated, employed, and grow within your district, I think is how she's tying your jobs plan and investing in people together. And I think that's an excellent plan. And, education is the cornerstone. I moved where I live so my children could go to Seneca High School eventually. And that was a long-term plan because one wasn't born and one was 3. So people do look at school districts as a place and a reason to relocate. So tell us a little bit about how your district is coping with COVID-19, which is the biggest story on everybody's lips today at this time.
Sure. So what I see, campaigning in our COVID era politics is a little bit difficult because you can't necessarily connect in the way where you can traditionally connect in campaigns. So you don't have the festivals or the fairs or the parades. And so your ability, your exposure to interact with voters is limited. That being said, what my campaign's done to adapt and overcome, right, is we're doing literature drops. So we're going, door to door to residences and dropping literature. We're not knocking. We're not putting anyone's safety or health at risk or the health of myself or my volunteers at risk. But we're getting them the information and connecting that way. And every once in a while when we're doing that, people come out and they feel comfortable enough to socially distance ourselves, but talk and have conversations. And what I'm hearing is, there are plenty of people who even, if we think about the shutdown, the beginning of the shutdown, everyone going remote and everyone going to this uncharted territory is about a March time frame. We're March, April, May, June, July, August, September, months out, and people still don't have jobs.
Right.
So many people are back to work in a way that either their employer has embraced them working remotely more and made that more the model upon which they still draw profit and get their bottom line met. And more power to them. They're getting back to work, but there's plenty of people. I have a family friend I just spoke to a week and a half ago, works at a printing press here, and it's down. He still doesn't have any income for months now. And I don't think that's a rare story. I think that's more frequent than we hear about in the news often. And so there's a lot of people that are hurting. There's a lot of people that I think are realizing two main things that are pertinent to my campaign and what my representation would advocate for in Springfield is, one, accessibility to medical care and health care coverage being tied to your job. You can so easily lose and therein lose your coverage. Yeah. That's something we have to talk about how we can do better. And two, when you look at it, not everyone has children, but I've got four kids, like I said. 2 of them are school age. So I've got a kindergartner and a 4th grader. Okay, I'm not a teacher, and Daddy doesn't have the patience of a teacher. So when I'm trying to go through their lessons and I'm trying to meet both of their needs in helping them, and I consider myself to be a decently smart guy, a decently patient guy, calm, conscious. And if I'm about ready to lose my mind, going through this, I can only imagine what some of the other parents are doing and what teachers are doing, trying to keep all these pre-recorded messages up for the remote learning and such. And so when you think about the experience that many of us parents have had, it's been a reckoning. It's been a realization how many different roles we expect our educators to fulfill.
Yes.
For mental health, for socialization skills for our kids, for the actual, reading, writing, and arithmetic, sure, but for the actual life lessons and the problem solving and how to analyze information, how to figure out your own emotions and moderate yourself. We have a lot that we expect of our educators. We need to invest more in that. And I think, if anything, hopefully, the pandemic's kind of given people fresh view of issues that we need to tackle down in our cabin.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's brought to light for a lot of folks the essential needs that are not being met. And I hope that people take that to the ballot box and vote for you, Seth Wiggins, for Illinois District 90. Because Wiggins, FOR. Oh, I have it. Oh, I totally whiffed that. Oh, Wiggins. WIGGENSFOR 8rep.com. Go there, volunteer, subscribe, make calls. We were just talking about this on our live stream about how our democracy is on the precipice of demise, and it is imperative that all of us get out and vote. First thing you do is you check your voter registration, make sure it's still accurate. Second thing, figure out your voting plan. Third thing, mark Seth Wiggins, Illinois District 90, as your representative. Don't forget to vote for the lower down ballot candidates, every one of them. They're the ones that determine how your future goes. So please, guys, Seth is a very heartfelt, caring, and intelligent candidate. I know the district that he's in well because I also covered part of that district, and I just want to say that you guys is the real deal. So think about when you're registering, when you're looking at your registration and you're all clear and going, I do vote by mail or early voting. I'm going to go to my county clerk's site to find out what that is. When you're doing that, make sure that you mark for Seth and other great candidates. Sorry, I just had to do a little plug for you there.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Seth, thank you so much for being on today. We'd like to check in with you a little closer to the election, see how things are going and how we can help you. And I'd like everybody.
We're going to try to do a small chunk that will be maybe 5 minutes with all the candidates that we spoke to as we get closer to the election.
Great.
Like a round.
That'd be great.
So if you'll come back and see us again, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Okay, thank you so much for being on today, Seth. We really appreciate it. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. Take care. Remember, vote.
Wiggins for 8rep.com and Heartland on my head. I need to get away.
So vote, volunteer, and donate. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.